Hi everybody, welcome to this program. Today's program, I am going to discuss about how pranic healing and acupressure can be tried together. So for this, I would like to make a presentation on the basics of pranic healing, which is common actually with all kinds of alternate healing. Actually, the idea for my presentation is for everyone to understand that there is a science behind all this, even if the actual today's science doesn't accept that there is such a science. There is a definite science behind this. And pranic healing is a healing of our etheric double. Just as acupressure, acupuncture, and all forms of healing, alternate healing, Reiki, all of these are healing of the etheric double. The etheric double is, or pranic body is an exact duplicate of our body, but a few inches bigger and surrounds our physical body. This pranic body is made up of subatomic particles called prana. So this is a fundamental that we need to, all of us need to understand this, that we are, this other second body is more powerful than our physical body. And whatever negative effects or illness or anything first comes to this body and then it affects the physical body. Now, prana is the energy of life within our body, which is like when they say when somebody dies, pran poithin solrala, that means there is an energy which is flowing in this body. So that energy which is within our body is also in the air, in sunlight, in the ground, everywhere. So in the air, one can see these as shining points of light in random motion. Now, if you do, I don't know whether now we can't, it's too late at night, but tomorrow morning you try this experiment. Go to your window and try to see in the clear blue part of the sky. For a while, keep looking at the blue part of the sky. You will start seeing these shiny dots of light moving here, like randomly moving. Now, do one small experiment. When you see those things, just say in your mind, come to me. Make those lights come to you. You'll see that they'll start fast traveling to you. Do another experiment. Keep your hand out like this and say, please come to this hand. And you'll watch, they'll come to this hand. So there is if with concentration, we can direct the prana around us to wherever we want it to go. Just do this experiment. It's a scientific experiment. And all of you all do this and give me a feedback whether you can, whether you're doing or not. And then prana can be absorbed from the sun by 10 minutes of sunbathing. Pranic energy from water by keeping the water in the sun for a while. Pranic energy from the air can be absorbed with slow breathing. Pranic energy is naturally absorbed by our bodies through the chakras, which are 7 major and 5 minor, in all 12 chakras. So this pranic energy is there all around us. You can do one more experiment. When you're walking in the under the trees or in the open air, just say, I want to breathe in prana, or think in your mind that give me as much prana. I'm feeling low today. I'm tired today. Let me breathe in the prana. You'll feel much lighter and more energetic in your work. Just try these small experiments. Now, when days are cloudy, like today in Chennai, and of course in Bangalore, it's always cloudy. So when days are cloudy, all of you must have experienced a desire to sleep more. This is due to the absence of the sun's prana in the body, because we feel low energy. So because it's not the prana which would normally be there when it's sunny is missing when it's a cloudy day. So that's why we tend to sleep more when days are cloudy. Plants absorb prana from the sun, air, water, and grounds. Animals and humans additionally from food. Fresh food has more prana than preserved or dead food. So this is again a thing that the quality of food that you eat. Now in this, I remember in Meher's presentation, there was something about water. There was a saying, say a prayer for the water and then drink the water. So there is some energy which we impart to the water. And this is something even in our Hindu rituals, what we will do, sorry, I'm speaking in Tamil for those who don't understand Tamil. We have a pot of water, ordinary water kept in the center, and we do all the chanting around that water. So we've magnetized that water with a lot of pranic energy. And then at the end of the puja, everybody is given a sip of that water to drink. What is all that? That's also science. That is the science of this whole system. Do another experiment. Go and sit under a large tree, and with your palms together, raised up, absorb the prana exuded by the tree. In a few minutes, your whole body will grow numb and tingle due to the excess prana. It may require some practice. Now, all of this, directing the prana to your hand, to yourself, breathing is a little concentration is required. So if your mind is not wavering, you can try these kinds of experiments also. Go and sit under a large tree with your hands raised up, or just even one hand raised up, and just see how much energy that comes out. Just do slow breathing and you'll see prana coming in. Our pranic body or bioplasmic body extends a few inches around us and is made up of the fourth state of matter or plasma, which are subatomic charged particles. This is what plasma TVs are made up of, that is charged electrons. Kirlian photography has taken pictures of this body. You can Google this Kirlian photography and you will see pictures of this etheric double or pranic body have been taken, or not only of humans, but also plants and animals. Just as blood flows in our veins and arteries, energy flows in our body in channels called meridians or nadis. And this is what we are pressing in acupressure. Pranic healing, acupuncture, Reiki, and acupressure are all healings of energy blockages and depletion in these nadis and chakras. Thus, they are all just natural healing techniques using this pranic energy all around us to heal the body. It's a little known science, a future science, as Meher said. A couple of centuries ago, man didn't know electricity existed, but today we know it is an energy source. Same way, pranic energy is not well known today, yet it exists. Anyone with average concentration abilities and persistence can become a healer with trial and error. Now experiment and bring your two hands together. Can you do this right now? Facing each other, and go near and far, near and far. Very soon you will start feeling there is something between your hands. Can you all switch on your video so that we can see you? And then can you tell me whether you're feeling anything? You should feel something warm, some tingling sensation, or something compressing between your hands. Can you feel it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, correct.
Yes. So this is you're actually feeling the pranic body of both your hands. When your hands come near each other, that pranic body is getting compressed. So that is why you're feeling something getting compressed. This is a simple experiment. So our hands also have chakras. The chakra thing is too long to explain, so I'm just going to some briefly. Our hands also have chakras. Now this much information is enough for us to use for our acupressure work. Now, I will just come to the part of what we do with our hands. To sensitize our hands, in pranic healing, we do this. So we can, to combine pranic healing and acupressure, you can try this. No, I'm in a Zoom meeting. So you put you have to just press the center of your palm and do slow breathing. Pause, exhale, pause. Same thing on both hands in the center. Okay, when you do this, what will happen is your hand become little sensitive. After you do this, the idea to use pranic healing with acupressure is to imagine your child in front of you. Now, my whole presentation, the idea is that this pranic healing is definitely there. If we can make ourselves, we can concentrate ourselves and believe in this, then we can use this to heal our child with acupressure. The method is that we have to imagine the child in front of us. The problem that we are facing, many of us, is that our child is not cooperating to sit when we have to hold the child's hand or we have to massage the head. The child is not sitting or cooperating. So what can we do instead? So the solution for that is you imagine the child in front of you and now apply all the points and actions in your mind with your eyes closed after sensitizing your hands. After doing this and breathing in 7 times, you have sensitized your hands. Then you close your eyes and imagine the child in front of you, and then do if you have to press the H7, then imagine you're pressing the H7 and do it 20 times. But I am doing it 40 times because since this is some indirect, it is a distant healing that you're doing. So I press it 20, I press it 40 times instead of 20 times, imagining that I'm pressing the H7 or the P6 or the head massage. So then I move my hands up the way I'm supposed to, in front, in back, and all the treatment I do in the air, but I'm imagining that I'm doing it for my son. I'm imagining him in front of me. So this is the whole thing that I was sharing. It's an experiment. I am not, I mean, to learn a complete pranic healing, a course is required. This is not something that I can, teach in a short while. It's a very big program. So I am only teaching that part of it, which could be utilized for pranic healing. I'm so sorry. I've had 4 people whom I'm now only admitting. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I will share with them later on. And now we can open up the floor for discussion. And Mehel, I know you did not see all this before. So what is your opinion of my experimentation? Where am I right? Where am I wrong?
It works. I have seen people who actually heal remotely with acupressure also. They call it touch therapy, where they just know that the energy has to reach and it reaches. So it works. It is like this energy can be directed to where the intention is. So we always start with a prayer and let his energies flow with the intention that they are reaching to the person or to the point where it is, and it reaches. Like even now, if we just close our eyes and we want to visualize particular finger, so and if we have closed our eyes and visualized it with the intention that my energy is reaching, say, my right index finger, you can actually feel the whole right index finger getting, the heat, the warmth of the energy there, right? So it works. It works.
So all of you all have, please put on your videos and so we can see you, and please ask your questions now.
And actually all the points which you did of the minor chakras and the major chakras are also the acupressure points.
Okay.
So yeah,
my presentation is a little longer. I can share more in that. I have included the chakra bits also in my presentation, but I thought that all that is not so much needed right now because we are focused on helping our child. We are not becoming generalized pranic healers for others, isn't it? And the course has to be done fully to become a pranic healer for others. For our child, this much information I felt is enough.
Yeah. And pranic healing, if somebody wants to learn, it is also not difficult. That's all that I'm saying. Yeah,
it's very easy. But there is a lot of things in it because this Master Chow Kok Sui is written quite a lot. There's so much things to learn in that. For example, the spleen chakra, it controls digestion. And that is not the spleen chakra, sorry, the solar plexus. It controls that is the solar plexus chakra is right below the central rib in the gap, that hollow. There is the solar chakra in the center of the body. So that affects the digestion. So if you have constipation and those type of issues, if you you have to do combing. Combing is externally making all the that astral self comes out as the truth. So you clear the place and then you energize it. So that is, I mean, I found that very interesting that, if so many ailments, there is some, I mean, we have tested out for this, do this chakra, do this healing, these many times to comb. It's very detailed, he has written it. So, I mean, to actually become a healer, one requires a lot of practice and a whole group of people together who will be, experimenting all this with each other. So to see whether it is effective or not.
Can you explain what is comb? How to do combing?
Oh, yeah. So for that, again, I'll have to share my
Vimal,
screen.
yeah, Vimal, a short brief will confuse them. So till where you have covered, I think that's enough. If they have to learn more, they should get into it, because with your briefing, they cannot actually practice it.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So leave it there and explore it themselves. Because they have to hear it from a person who is an expert.
Yes. I'm not an expert.
They should not be confused at the end of it. That's all that I'm saying.
Correct, correct. See, our aim is to learn to do acupressure. So that is where we are. We're standing there. Dinesh, I hope that answers your...
Yes, ma'am. But can you just briefly, just say about combing so that if possible we can do also? Because I couldn't get you regarding combing.
No, this is not the same as a normal combing that you do a child. I know for autism, they do a sort of brushing and combing. It's not that. It's different.
Okay, ma'am.
Anybody else has anything else to share? Anything they have tried it that is working, or would like to ask Meher ma'am any questions?
Actually, this meridian points can be used instead of use with finger. Actually, some people are using with the laser. That means this red light laser. It will penetrate more. So they are saying that you can use the same acupuncture point using this low level red light laser. Do you have any idea? I don't know how effective is it, but many people are using this because this red light laser will penetrate more in that meridian points and acupuncture points. Is anybody tested or anybody has done it?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dinesh. But every meridian has a color and a light to it. So there are different colors which we use for energizing it and different colors we use it for minimizing it. So we cannot use red colored laser for all the points, because then, so that's the reason why we either use just the touch or we'll have to use different colors. So please don't use red color laser for all the points which we have talked. Like if I was to talk about, say, the point H7, okay? Now the H7 is a part of the fire element. The color for fire element is red. And if we use the fire element red color, it is going to stimulate it. It's going to make it more energized, which we don't want to, when we want to treat children with special needs, we want to minimize it. So at that time, if we are going to use red light laser, then it's going to be counterproductive. But if we use the intuitiveness of just the hand, we are just touching the point H7, don't worry about it going deeper or not. Even if I was to use an acupuncture needle, it would have gone down only about 3 millimeters, which you're actually doing with pressing with your finger also. So just by stimulating it with the intention that with a small prayer, it reaches and it works. So I would not suggest the same red color laser for all the points. There are a few points which it will work, but not for all the points.
Thank you, Meher.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, this Shinmen points in the ear, there are some acupuncture beads are available. So we can use this bead for Shinmen band. That means that we can put that bead and we can leave it as it is for some time, or until it gets dropped. We can leave it. We can just keep it as it is. What is your opinion?
Yeah, if you're using a seed or a bead, a seed would work for, say, 24 hours or 12 hours at a stretch. So once you've used it, you can tape it with a surgical tape and leave it there overnight or whatever, and take it out and discard it into that waste, and don't put it in the pot or anything, where there's mud, it should not grow. Beets are used, seeds are used, and they are very effective.
So beets and seeds are same, no? It is different. How long we can use? That means we can always keep it as it is pinched like that. We can keep it and forget, or we have to 1 hour or half an hour keep it there.
Depending upon the case, we would use it. You could just keep it for overnight. It'll be fine. If it was a bead is something which is like what we use for the chain, right? Which is something which is going to be poking at a place. A seed is something like where I can use a green gram, or where we use a methi dana, where we can just putting it with the surgical tape. So either of them is fine, but see that you're not pressing it too hard so that it doesn't leave an impression when you take it out. And just about 12 hours at a stretch is more than enough. And for some sensitive cases, even less. So you can do a trial and error depending upon the case which you are handling.
Except Shenwen points, we can use some other points also for this beets.
I have not used beets, nor seeds. I don't use much. I just use acupressure, but I know it works.
Okay.
You have any specific point on mind? You can let me know. I can clarify on that.
Okay.
But some days, ma'am, it just doesn't work for me. Like Dhruv has a lot of problems with sleeping issues. So he, there are times like a cycle it goes. So now he's at a cycle where he's sleeping in the day and sleeping awake at night. So I don't know whether I should just let it be, or should I try to change all that? He sleeps for good 8 hours, but it is not at the appropriate time. That is the thing.
Women, have you checked with any, does it coincide with any particular food or particular weather or particular time of the month? Or, these children are sensitive. So I have seen some children reacting during the Amavasya or during the Purnimas. So just see a correlation, because some children, I was talking to a parent on the other day, and they said that the child usually sleeps by 10, but on that particular day they had bread pakoras at 7 o'clock. The child went on to sleep only at about 1:32. So these children are sensitive to food, which we usually all of us are. So we are supposed to have finished our dinner by 6:37. So they are a little more sensitive because of the gut being sensitive, the digestion being sensitive. So if you could chart out, you will see a pattern to it.
Yeah. One thing, ma'am, I'm doing the super brain yoga also.
Yes.
I don't know, but I feel that there is some change in that. He is, when he's talking to me, he is making more sense. I can see him thinking a little more complicated. And I started doing this only in the last 2 weeks. It's not very long. So I feel a lot of hope. Things I always wanted to try, but I could never try with him because never let me touch him only. So.
Super brain yoga works even for us, not only for the children.
Okay.
Because it's again balancing the chakras.
Yeah. Simply at home is asking what is super brain yoga. Super brain yoga is when you sit like this and do topi karna. That is super brain yoga, actually. But we cannot, if we can make a child do this and sit up and down, then fine. But if we can't make a child do that, then the main thing is you're pressing the earlobes, the soft part of the ear, where we put the earring. So what I do is, the way I combine the pranic healing thing is, again, I press like this, slowly, 20 times. Imagining that I am pressing my son's ears. Let's see, I don't know. Same thing, what else I do is, we were taught by Meher that we have to do this motion and this motion. So both these motions I do Instead, I do it like this and I do it like this. Do it like this, do it like this 20 times. And then every time I do that H7, that is this one. I do that 20 times. P6, that is this one. On the left hand, do that 20 times. Then I do this homeostatic point here 20 times. That's it. That's all. Every day once. I maybe should do twice, but I do it once every day. So I do it when I'm at my calmest, when I'm not disturbed. Like a meditative exercise, I do it. I would calm and quietly I do it.
Could you just add ST40 and ST36?
Okay.
Go over the presentation, you will see it, and give me the feedback.
Okay. So that's it, guys.
Do we have to do any acupressure point in our feet?
It depends on, Farida, on what particular issue you're talking about.
No, like we are doing in the hands and on the head. Do we have to do anything under the feet? Because then there are 2 points, no?
Yeah, so when even I think Vimal showed the picture, and even when I had covered that the way we do massaging for the palm, we can also do the massaging for the sole of the foot, and also the massaging the way we do for the fingers. You could do the massaging for the toes, for the feet, and also in between the fingers, same as in between the toes. So even there, like the way Vimal has shown that you could massage, just stimulate the center of the palm and do this. You could stimulate the center of the foot and also do the same.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am. Yeah, I have one quick question. Like anything which can, like acupressure points which can help my son to calm down. He's like, sometimes he gets very like stimulated and he's like moving around very hyper and also like getting very agitated. So any points which can help him to calm down? Actually, yeah, if you can please guide me, I would really appreciate it.
How old is your son now?
He is 14. He just turned 14 in March. It's almost 14 and a half. So he has a lot of body's hormones changes. He's moving to puberty, and he is very minimal verbal. He just speaks according to his needs. So sometimes he gets very frustrated and agitated, and he started throwing tantrums, like crying a lot, and it's hard for him to calm down. So anything which can help him to heal, to make him calmer, that would be really great if you can guide me.
I had actually covered it during the presentation also.
Okay, sorry, points. I think I couldn't able to join the presentation. So
you
if
can see it in the video,
do you have a recording session of the presentation?
Yes, we have. We'll send it to you.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Your name on the group, please. What's your name?
Shailja Bhardwaj.
Okay, Shailja.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I too need the presentation, ma'am. Unable to join.
I will send it for everybody just now. Yes. Okay, I think I'll mute this. Yes. Anybody else has anything to ask?
Ma'am, what else we can do in pranic healing? So what I have to follow this presentation?
Sir, as Meher ma'am has said, my aim is to show what Meher ma'am is asked us to do through pranic healing, because we are not able to touch our child. My aim is not to teach pranic healing.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, actually, my son has a issue in toilet. Right now, for urine, he is going for bathroom. For toilet, he is not going. Can we? I am not able to do massage directly to him. So, can we have? Can we do that in pranic healing? Anything to improve that? Because only for 2 bathroom, he is not going inside the bathroom. Hello.
Yeah, ma'am, you just started. You start doing the points. Have you seen the recording of the points?
No, ma'am. At the beginning, I'm not able to join. I will get the presentation and I will check it. That points, ma'am. I'm asking, can we do that in pranic healing?
Ma'am,
Yeah,
I'm
of
not an
course.
expert on pranic healing, so don't ask me.
Actually, I completed basic in pranic healing.
Yeah, me too. So that you imagine your level, my level, same.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Even that we are not getting time to do that.
No, I
Okay,
feel
ma'am.
like no. I think Meher ma'am will guide us better than me.
Yeah,
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
yes. Sangeeta ma'am, if you've done the basic in pranic healing, then you can please go ahead and do it. You
Okay.
just have to do what all you have been asked to do, clean the chakras, everything. You can just start it. You will see the benefit. Start and continue, and also add the points to it. You'll go. You'll really see the results. Please start.
Okay, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
So would you recommend the others to actually take up the course, and if you feel this will help, this pranic healing course?
Yeah, ma'am. I refer, ma'am.
It really helps, Vimal, because I think it gives a sort of a clarity for each one. Some have benefited well with acupressure itself, and if they would want to do it with pranic healing, it only it's like an add-on, which is the same thing. It's the same science, right?
Correct.
And as you said, when the child is not allowing you to touch, yeah. So this helps, and it works.
Yes. So I think Dinesh, maybe since you seem so interested, maybe you could take up the course. Instead of learning it here and there, to do it properly is better, I think.
Yeah, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much time to do the basic course of just a day. I think some places cover it for 2 days. That is the basic course, right, Vimal? How is it done?
No, I don't remember. It was several years ago, but I think it was a 4-day or 5 days, 5 days course I did. The level 1, I think it was, and 5 days. But yes, I mean, the thing with all of these things is to practice. You have to practice and experiment and see the difference. So for that, it's like you're moving your hands in the air and you have to believe. So it's hard. You have to have a lot of faith and belief that this is a science. For me, that is the first obstacle. That this is a science. This is not some hocus pocus thing. It is a science. It's factual. Only we don't know the fact. Like the power of prayer, you can say like that. So we are going to just end. This is the last. If everybody's done, then we will close it here. And if you want to extend it further, then you can come back using the same app. Would you like to extend further? Folks, anybody has anything else to share, or we can continue in the WhatsApp group?
Thank you, Vimal. Thank you for this. Thank you for the symbiosis.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye,
Slowly we
everybody.
will go. Little by little, we'll empower ourselves. See, this is an alternate science. So we have to also have faith in this science. Then we will become healers for our children. Our aim is to become healers for our children. So slowly, we will be empowered with Meher ma'am's support and encouragement.
All our love for for our kids will take us